Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Kiran, Divya, Mohammad Suhail, Madhav. Good evening, everyone. Ajay Chauhan, Ram Devi, Mr. Mohammad, Akif, Neha, Parth, Sushil. Very good evening. स्वाति, कैसे हैं सब लोग? कैसी चल रही है पढ़ाई? तो स्टार्ट करें आज का टॉपिक. जो आज का टॉपिक मुझे मिला है, आई हैव गिवन द टॉपिक इज डिक्लेरेशन एंड पेमेंट ऑफ डिविडेंड. This is the chapter. This is the chapter in your company law. And trust me, after this lecture, you will be able to solve each and every query from this chapter. ठीक है ना? तो अगले नेक्स्ट 2.5 आवर आप लोग मेरे साथ हैं. गुड इवनिंग सुवेंदु, मुक्तेश्वरी, अनिरुद्ध, सोबिन, विधाते, संकरनव, कदम्बरी, नैन्सी, तन्नू, मनीष कुमार, अनमोल, मेघना, लोकेश. गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन बच्चों. गुड इवनिंग मानसी, राहुल, संतिका, ममता, कोमल, सुरेंद्रन, सयानदास, नाफिया. गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन. So let's start. The topic is declaration and payment of dividend. We start the topic with the words of Dr. Abdul Kalam. All of us do not have equal talent, but all of us have an equal opportunity to develop our talent. भैया हमारे पास अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं है, लेकिन आप कोशिश करें तो टैलेंट क्रिएट कर सकते हैं. नेहा इज सेइंग पीडीएफ. So PDF is already uploaded. Okay. चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं. देखिए डिविडेंड क्या है. व्हाट इज द डिविडेंड? डिविडेंड इज जस्ट पार्ट ऑफ द प्रॉफिट विच इज अवेलेबल फॉर इन्वेस्टर. जिन्होंने इन्वेस्ट किया उनको जो प्रॉफिट मिलना है, जो खर्च करने के लिए, दैट इज कॉल्ड डिविडेंड. So dividend is the distribution of any sum to the members out of the profit and wherever permitted out of free reserves available for the purpose. So dividend is the part of the profit which is available, which is distributed to shareholders for their expense. But what is the definition in the company law about dividend? Section 2 clause 35 says dividend includes any interim dividend. यानी उन्होंने define नहीं किया, just include किया कि डिविडेंड में इंटरिम डिविडेंड भी इंक्लूड होता है. इट मींस डिविडेंड included interim dividend. Dividends two types, we will discuss later. So small things about dividend, हालांकि ये चीज हम डिस्कस करेंगे, but before starting the topic we are just taking the idea of dividend. So dividend is recommended by board of directors in the board report. Listen, shareholders, the owner of the company, board of directors are manager of the company. Normally हम बात करें तो board of directors are the mother and shareholders are father. पापा है shareholders और मम्मी है board of directors. यानी कि पापा सारा मैनेज कर रहे हैं, सब कुछ बना के दे दिया आपको और पैसे दे दिए हाथ में किसके? मम्मी के. भैया आप घर को मैनेज करो. तो डिविडेंड रिकमेंड कितना बच्चों में बांटना है, दैट विल डिसाइडेड बाय मम्मी. Dividend is recommended by board of directors in the board report, but approved by shareholders at the AGM because they are the owner. Shareholders cannot increase the dividend, but they can decrease because shareholders हमेशा चाहेंगे, they always want कि they get maximum dividend, but who is managing the funds? They are the board of directors. So they will decide what should be the maximum dividend, what should be the part of the profit to be distributed to the shareholder. So although that is approved by shareholders, but shareholders cannot increase the amount of dividend. Although दे कैन डिक्रीज। अगर लगता है शेयर होल्डर्स को नहीं साहब हमें नहीं चाहिए पैसा अभी, वो डिक्रीज कर सकते हैं डिविडेंड को, पर इंक्रीज नहीं कर सकते। एंड वंस अप्रूव्ड बाय शेयर होल्डर्स इट बिकम्स लायबिलिटी ऑन द कंपनी। अ कंपनी हैज टू पे the dividend which is declared in AGM, which is approved by shareholders. Normally, dividend is declared as a proportion of the nominal value or face value of shares. फेस वैल्यू के पार्ट पर, फेस वैल्यू के प्रोपोर्शन में इसको हम बांटते हैं। सी द एग्जांपल। इस एग्जांपल से आपको क्लियर हो जाएगा ये वाला कंसेप्ट। जस्ट रीड। गुड इवनिंग वैशाली, प्रिंस, लावण्या, अंकुर, गुड इवनिंग बच्चों। रिया, रामझा, अविनाश, गुड इवनिंग। So the example says AB Limited has issued the equity shares having the face value of rupees 10 per share. The shares are currently quoting on the NSE, that is the listed at rupees 250 per share, and the company at its AGM held on 27th July 2020 has declared a dividend 20%. Mr. Shekhar owns 1000 shares which were purchased at rupees 300 per share. Now what is the amount of dividend for Mr. Shekhar? भाई शेयर 10 रुपए का था, मार्केट वैल्यू 250 की थी, शेखर ने 300 में खरीदा। ना क्वेश्चन अराइजेस व्हाट शुड बी द अमाउंट ऑफ डिविडेंड इफ कंपनी डिक्लेयर्स 20% डिविडेंड। तो 20% will be calculated on the face value, that is rupees 10. So the dividend is to be calculated on the face value rupees 10. So dividend per share is 20 of that 10, 20% of 10, that is rupees 2 per share. So Mr. Shekhar will receive 2 for 1000 shares, that is rupees 2000. यहां तक कंसेप्ट क्लियर है बच्चों? यहां तक कोई डाउट किसी को? मिस्टर ऋतुराज is saying, sir, I was your foundation student and scored 54 in law. I had not prepared at all for the BCR part. Still, I made this score because of your teaching. Thank you. Thank you, बच्चे. Thank you so much. चलिए, क्लियर है यहाँ तक? आगे बढ़ते हैं, एग्जाम्पल 2 पे आते हैं। The shareholders at AGM unanimously passed a resolution for payment of dividend at a rate higher than that recommended by directors. Discuss the validity. Question arises, each and every shareholder is saying that dividend should be higher rate which was decided by the directors. Can they do so? The answer is no. Power to declare dividend vests with the shareholders. However, under no circumstances they can declare dividend exceeding the amount recommended by board of directors. Clear है यहाँ तक? Okay. Okay. Now the question is, the topic is type of dividend. Classification based on time when declared, classification based on nature of shares. यानी कि हम दो तरीके से हम डिवाइड करते हैं, दो तरीके से हम डिफाइन करते हैं काइंड्स ऑफ डिविडेंड को, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ टाइम, दैट इज interim dividend and final dividend. Interim dividend and final dividend, what are they? Those, see, we are talking about interim dividend. Dividend declared by BOD, Board of Directors, during the any financial year or at any time during the period from closure of financial year till holding of the AGM. Means if AGM is held on 30th September, फॉर एग्जाम्पल हम बात करते हैं फाइनेंशियल ईयर 2022 and 23, and AGM was held on September 30th September 2023. If dividend is declared from the period 1st April 2022 till 29th September 2023, you may say before the AGM, it is called interim dividend. the dividend which is declared in AGM, which is approved in AGM, is called final dividend. और इसके अलावा इससे पहले जो भी डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर होगा, that is called interim dividend. So see what it says, section 123 subsection 3, what says, dividend declared by BOD during any financial year, that is 1st April 2022 to 31st March 2023, or at any time during the period from closure of financial year till the holding of each. क्लियर है यहां तक? यानी कि इंटरिम डिविडेंड क्या हुआ बच्चों, 1 अप्रैल 22 से लेकर अगर एजीएम हमारी सितंबर 23 में हो रही है, यानी कि 30 सितंबर 23 को हो रही है, तो इससे पहले अगर हम इस पीरियड को हम काउंट करें, इस पीरियड में अगर हम डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर करते हैं तो दैट इज कॉल्ड इंटरिम डिविडेंड, और अगर डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर किया जाता है एजीएम में, दैट इज कॉल्ड फाइनल। व्हाट आर द सोर्स, यानी कि व्हाट इज द सोर्स ऑफ फंड्स फ्रॉम विच इंटरिम डिविडेंड कैन बी पेड? फर्स्ट इज surplus in the P&L account. Second thing, profit for the financial year in which such dividend is sought to be declared. उस साल के प्रॉफिट में से जिस साल का इंटरिम डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर कर रहे हैं, और profit generated in the financial year till the quarter preceding the date of declaration of interim dividend. See for point number 3. Profit generated in the financial year till the quarter preceding the date of declaration of interim dividend. यानी कि for example, if company is deciding to declare the dividend for today on today's date 7th December, so it can use the profit up to a quarter ending on 30th September 2023. अगर कंपनी आज 7 दिसंबर को डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर करना चाहती है, तो इससे पहला क्वार्टर कब एंड हो रहा है, 30 सितंबर, तो वहां तक के प्रॉफिट को यूज कर सकते हैं फॉर पेमेंट ऑफ इंटरिम डिविडेंड. In case of loss, if company has incurred loss during the financial year, during the current financial year, up to the end of the quarter immediately preceding the date of declaration of interim dividend, such interim dividend shall not be declared at a higher rate than the average rate of dividend declared by the company during immediately preceding 3 financial years. Other company, for example, if company is deciding to pay the interim dividend on 7 December, today's date, 2023, and company having the loss as on 30th September 2023, then the maximum rate of dividend will be the average rate of dividend for preceding 3 financial year. अगर कंपनी 7 दिसंबर आज की तारीख में इंटरिम डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर करना चाहती है और 30 सितंबर 2023 के क्वार्टर में इसको लॉस है, तो कंपनी का जो इंटरिम डिविडेंड का मैक्सिमम रेट होगा, that will be the average rate of previous 3 financial years. See the example number 3. If a company declared dividend at the rate of 16% during the immediately preceding 3 financial year, then in case the company incurs a loss in quarter immediately preceding the date of declaration of interim dividend, that is 30th September 2023, it is permitted to declare interim dividend at the rate which not be higher than 16. अगर कंपनी डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर करना चाहती है आज 7 दिसंबर को और 30 सितंबर को लॉस है, पिछले 3 साल का एवरेज रेट ऑफ डिविडेंड इज 16%, तो मैक्सिमम रेट ऑफ इंटरिम डिविडेंड क्या होगा, 16%. क्लियर है इतनी बात यहां तक? जब तक मैं क्वेरी ले रहा हूं आपकी. राहुल इज सेइंग सर थोड़ा पढ़े थोड़ा मस्ती करें तो आपको बुरा तो नहीं मानोगे बेटा, मस्ती करने का टाइम तो सीए बनने के बाद ही है. बुजुर्ग कहते हैं अभी मस्ती कर लोगे तो बाद में बहुत दुखी होना पड़ेगा, इसलिए सीरियसली पढ़ाई कर लो थोड़ी देर. Can dividend will be distributed on market value of share? नहीं बेटा, dividend is paid on the basis of face value. I have discussed बच्चे. some students are saying, sir, please in English, in Hindi. But I am just repeating what I have told you in English in Hindi. मैं जितना भी आपको इंग्लिश में पढ़ा रहा हूँ वो हिंदी में रिपीट कर, ठीक है? मैं ऐसा नहीं कर रहा, आई एम नॉट डूइंग सेपरेट थिंग्स इन इंग्लिश एंड हिंदी, so don't worry. Okay, I have already uploaded the notes on the site. Separate bank account. It means section 123 subsection 4 says the amount of dividend including interim dividend. It means any dividend, whether interim dividend, whether final dividend. The amount of dividend including interim dividend shall be deposited in separate account, separate bank account maintained with the scheduled bank within 5 days from the date of declaration. Whenever interim dividend will be declared, and after the declaration of dividend within 5 years, a new account has to be opened in the scheduled bank, and the amount should be deposited in that account. Important note: all provisions which are applicable to the payment of dividend shall also will apply to interim dividend. जो भी फाइनल डिविडेंड के लिए होगा वही इंटरिम डिविडेंड के लिए होगा. Now, final dividend. When the dividend is declared at the AGM of the company, it is known as final dividend. I have already discussed with you. The rate of dividend recommended by board cannot be increased by the member. I have already discussed with you. Someone is saying, sir, how many times in a year interim dividend is allowed? Any number of times. Okay. Sir, shareholders having unpaid face value, dividend can be given. We will discuss in the after some time on the unpaid topic here. We will discuss. Sir, why companies are declaring interim dividend? The company they having the bulk profits, so they want to share with the shareholders. Someone is asking, sir, which chapter will you cover in law? मेरे लाल आज का तो पढ़ ले. Scheduled bank क्या है? बेटा आप you are the CA intermediate student. You are not supposed to ask this type of question. What is scheduled bank? The difference between interim dividend and the final dividend. Definition: declared and paid during the accounting year. I've discussed. Please read it carefully. Someone is asking, sorry, sir, ICAI study material is right. Absolutely. तो क्वेश्चन ही गलत था आपका. Sir, please explain. Second point, board of directors can't be increased by the members. Okay, I think ये कहना चाह रही हैं, and she want to say that the dividend is recommended by board of directors but cannot be increased by shareholders. Why? Okay, even the shareholders are owner, but management in whose hands? Directors. So director knows what fund required in the business. So they decide what the fund is available for the distribution. तो वो डिसाइड करेंगे भैया कितना फंड चाहिए, ज्यादा दे देंगे तो पता लगा बिजनेस ही बंद हो गया. ओके, तो होपफुली आप लोगों ने पढ़ लिया होगा, मैं इसको रीड नहीं कर रहा हूं. Okay, now classification on the base of nature of shares. Shares of two types, already you know. Preference shares, equity shares. Preference shares are those shares having preferential dividend at the fixed rate during the life of company. Equity share, no preferential right. in dividend. Dividend may vary year to year on the basis of availability of profit. So preference shares of are two types: cumulative preference shares and non-cumulative preference shares. Dividend, in case of cumulative preference share, dividend accumulates unless it is paid in full. Non-cumulative preference shares, no area of dividend in the future is payable. Means in case of non-cumulative preference shares, dividend is given only if the profit is there. If profit is not there, it cannot be carried forward, right? But in case of equity shares, dividend dependent on the dividend policy and the availability of profit after satisfying the rights of preference shareholders. प्रेफरेंस शेयरहोल्डर को क्या बोलते हैं अपन लोग? घर के फूफा. पहले इनको जिमाना है, बाद में बचा तो बाकी लोगों को खाना, राइट? तो प्रेफरेंस इक्विटी शेयर कब मिलेगा कि पॉलिसी या प्रॉफिट अवेलेबल है, बट बिफोर देम वी शुड पे टू द प्रेफरेंस डिविडेंड, राइट? सर डायरेक्टर्स हु डिक्लेयर डिविडेंड इंक्लूड नॉन एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर्स. ठीक है, डायरेक्ट जो अमाउंट ऑफ डिविडेंड डिसाइडेड इन द बोर्ड मीटिंग, and in that meeting all the directors are there who have right to vote, right? Provisions regarding the declaration payment of dividend, section 123 subsection 1, regarding the sources from which funds dividend has to be declared and to be paid. First part, profit of the current financial year arrived after providing for depreciation. This is important thing. Profit of any previous financial year arrived at after providing for the depreciation in the accordance with Schedule 2 of Companies Law and remaining undistributed, that is trade balance in the profit and loss account and free reserves, both A and B. It means current profit or previous profit. And fourth point, out of the money given by government for the payment of dividend. In some cases, some industry, government provide the money for the payment of dividends so that the shareholder make the faith on the company. तो ये इन तीन जगहों से हम पैसा दे सकते हैं इसको शेयर होल्डर्स को, इसके लिए डिविडेंड के. इंपॉर्टेंट. Note 1. Before declaration of dividend, carried over previous losses and depreciation not provided in the previous year or years are required to be set off against the profit of the company for the current. It means if you want to make the payment of dividend out of the profit, you first adjust or set off, carry forward depreciation and carry forward losses. Note 2. In computing profit, any amount representing unrealized gain, notional gain, or revaluation of asset, and any change in carrying amount of the asset or of a liability on the measurement of the asset or the liability at fair value shall be excluded. In very simple language, for this point number, for note number 2, that any revaluation reserve, revaluation gain, unrealized gain should not be taken for the part of the payment of dividend. Third point, capital profit are not same as distributable profit. They are not available for the declaration of dividend, for the distribution of dividend, because they are not earned in the normal course of business. Therefore, normally not available for distribution of डिविडेंड. अगर कोई कैपिटल प्रॉफिट हो रहा है तो उसको हम डिस्ट्रीब्यूट नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि वो रेगुलर फीचर नहीं है. क्लियर? नाउ कम टू द एग्जांपल नंबर 4. Shreyas Mechanics Limited owns a plot of land which was purchased long before. As the property rates are going up, it is decided to revalue the plot at fair value, which is moderately 10 times the original price, thus resulting in a revaluation profit of rupees 20 lakhs. The board of directors is keen to utilize this rupees 20 lakhs along with the free reserves of the 24 lakhs for declaration of dividend at the forthcoming AGM to be held on 20th September 2023. Please यहीं तक पढ़िए, इसको एक बार रीड कीजिए. Please read up to this point. क्वेश्चन क्या है, एग्जाम्पल क्या है कि 20 लाख का रिवोल्यूशन प्रॉफिट है और हम पे ऑलरेडी वी हैव 24 lakhs in free reserves. So whether we can use 20 lakhs for distribution of dividend, the answer should be no. According to the proviso to section 123 subsection 1 clause A, the amount of 20 lakhs cannot be considered as it does not form part of the free reserves, as the same cannot be utilized towards declaration of dividend. So this time we should revise what we have discussed in the previous half hour. कितना पढ़ा आप लोगों ने, कितना सुना, उसका टाइम आ गया चेक करने का. पर उससे पहले आप लोग क्वेरी. सर फर्स्ट पॉइंट, फर्स्ट क्वेरी क्या है? इफ प्रॉफिट इज लेस, कंपनी can company pay lower dividend to preference shareholders? Yes, depend on the policy, depend on the availability of profit. Sir, is there any regulation regarding how much minimum dividend should be declared? No, minimum dividend कहीं कोई रूल नहीं है. Sir, in case 2 years dividend not declared to shareholders, then they got voting rights? Yes. Dividend is not connected with the voting right. Why companies are having a dividend policy? Definitely yes. If you are running a business, see, if you are running a business and with the contribution of rupees capital as a capital of rupees 1 lakh, and you have withdrawn all the funds, even 1 lakh rupees as a dividend, business तो ठप हो जाएगा ना बच्चे. So dividend policy should be there. Sir, government gives amount for dividend on which form? As a loan or other? As a grant, beta. Sir, do BOD have the right to alter the condition for payment of dividend? Board of directors can definitely change the amount of dividend, but before the approval of shareholders. Once approved by shareholders, it cannot change. सर रिवैल्यूएशन रिजर्व को हर चीज से एक्सक्लूड कर रखा है. सो बेसिकली रिवैल्यूएशन रिजर्व का यूटिलाइजेशन कहाँ होता है कंपनी में? कहीं नहीं होता, कहीं यूज नहीं कर सकते उस फंड को. क्यूमुलेटिव प्रेफरेंस शेयर का मतलब क्या है सर? देखिए, इन केस ऑफ क्यूमुलेटिव प्रेफरेंस शेयर, द अमाउंट, इफ द कंपनी कुड नॉट पे द डिविडेंड, could not declare the dividend in the year due to loss or some other reasons, so the amount is accumulated for next year. ठीक है. नैन्सी प्लीज मेंशन योर क्वेरी इन डिटेल. तो समझ नहीं पा रहा हूँ क्या कहना चाह रही हैं, डिटेल में लिखिए बच्चे. Board of directors has right to pay the dividend to shareholders. They have right to recommend the final dividend, and they have to right to pay the interim dividend. Hemlata is asking, sir, please explain one's fourth point in the previous slide related to government. provisions of money by the government, money provided by the central government or a state government for the payment of dividend by the company in pursuance of guarantee given by the government. देखिए, in case for any business or company, government has given the guarantee to the shareholders for the purpose of investment for the promotion of the business, then it becomes the responsibility of the government to pay the dividend in case of loss. So the government may provide the funds for the declaration of dividend. सर फ्री रिजर्व से डिविडेंड इशू कर सकते हैं, डेफिनेटली फ्री रिजर्व. व्हाट इज द फ्री रिजर्व? फ्री रिजर्व इज द accumulated fund of previous years which is available for distribution. I've told you, Suman beta, in case dividend is not declared for 1 year or 2 year, voting right is not affected. Sir, what is the maximum limit for issue of dividend? देखिए, maximum limit is not there, any कहीं mention नहीं है. Recommended by director, that is the maximum limit. Shareholders cannot increase that amount. Sir, can revaluation loss lead can revaluation loss lead to the declaration in dividend? No, revaluation loss is not considered in for the purpose of dividend declaration. Sir, which dividend is given to shareholders, interim or final? If final is lower, then what will happen? Nancy, देखिए, listen, dividend क्या है तो आप ये समझिए. Please listen everyone. What is the amount of dividend? Shareholders have given the funds to the company in hands of directors. They manage the business, earn the profit, and distribute the profit to the shareholder as per the requirement of the business. If they think the business required more funds, then they distribute dividend in less amount. ठीक है, तो इस अब interim and final is means the dividend which is declared in the AGM is final dividend. Other than this dividend is called interim dividend. Clear नहीं बात? If shareholders have arrears, are they eligible for dividend? This will be discussed in this chapter in subsequent slides. Please wait. Sir, if final dividend is declared on 23rd October, can it be included in current year quarter profit? Listen, AGM was held. If AGM was held on 23rd October, then and dividend is declared in that AGM, it is final dividend. Okay. चलो भाई शुरू करें अपन. Super over 1. Listen, at this point we have 6 questions and you have to given all the 6 question answer in one shot. सारे क्वेश्चंस के आंसर आपको एक शॉट में देने हैं, 1 by 1 देंगे. आई विल नॉट कंसीडर. ठीक है. First question. Board has recommended the rate of dividend at the rate of 12%, but shareholder wants to increase the rate of dividend at 15%. What would be the rate of dividend? 10%, 12%, 15%, nil. Next question. Board has recommended the rate of dividend at 12%, but shareholder wants to decrease the rate of dividend at 10%. What should be the rate of dividend? 10%, 12%, 15%, nil. Third point, dividend for the year financial year 2022-23 was declared in May 2023 before AGM will be called interim dividend, final dividend, any of the above, none of above. बेटे आपको सारे आंसर एक साथ भेजने हैं. Fourth, if a company declare dividend at the rate of 16%, 12%, and 14% during the immediately preceding 3 financial years, then in case the company incurs loss in current financial year, it is permitted to declare interim dividend at the rate which is not higher than 12%, 14%, 16%, none of the above. Next. In case of cumulative preference shares, dividend accumulates unless it is paid in full. No area of dividend in future is payable. Dividend dependent on dividend policy and the availability of profits after satisfying the rights of preference shareholders. All of you are sending answers one by one. I told you, बच्चों सुन लो मेरी बात, काम आएगी. एक साथ भेजिए आंसर. Dividend can be paid out of profit of the current financial year, profit of any previous financial year, provisions of money by the government, all the three. चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं आंसर बच्चों इसके. First is should be 12% because if the dividend recommended by board cannot be increased by shareholders, but can be decreased. So what would be the answer here? It is 10%. Third, it will be called interim dividend, right? Average rate 14% because there is loss in the current financial year. In case of cumulative preference shares, dividend accumulates unless it is paid in full. And the last question is, dividend can be paid out of all the three. So, who has given all the correct answer? I will take the name of 5 students who have given all the correct answers. First is Miss Suman Goyal. Congratulations, beta. Next one is श्री मिस्टर श्रीनिवासन वेंकटरमन, कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन। नेक्स्ट वन, मिस्टर अनमोल पटवा, कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन। मिस्टर ऋतुराज, कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन। एंड मिस्टर सुमित माहौर, कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन ऑल ऑफ यू। सो एंड आई शुड कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट ऑल ऑफ यू हैव गिवन ऑल द करेक्ट आंसर्स। तो भैया ध्यान से सुनो, बोर तो नहीं हो रहे बच्चों? समझ में आ रहा है? बताओ कोई क्वेरी हो तो। राहुल कह रहे हैं मेरा एक गलत हुआ है, कोई बात नहीं, आप ध्यान से सुनना, सारे सही हो जाएंगे। आगे बढ़े क्या? परमिशन दो भाई। सर सुपर ओवर इज ऑसम। ओके। Nancy is saying, sir, why shareholder wish to decrease the rate of dividend? देखिए, law provides, if possible, कि shareholders want to change. अब change means maybe increase, maybe decrease. So increase not allowed. It means decrease allowed, right? नेहा कह रही है सर मेरे भी सारे सही हो गए। नेहा एक बच्चा कह रहा है सर कोई स्टोरी सुना दीजिए। अरे भाई ये भी स्टोरी है। ये these these discussions will be story for you in the examination hall। आप स्टोरी समझ के समझोगे ना तो सब याद रहेगा। चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं। सर क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 समझ में नहीं आया एक बच्चे को। बेटा जो मैंने मेंशन किया था, लिखा हुआ है अपने स्लाइड, ढंग से नहीं पढ़ी। क्यूमुलेटिव प्रेफरेंस शेयर वेयर डिविडेंड एक्यूमुलेट्स, राइट। Second point, no area of dividend in future is payable in case of non-cumulative preference shares, and dividend dependent on the dividend policy and the availability of profit after satisfying the rights of preference holders in case of equity shareholders. Okay. चलिए, now topic is depreciation। खर्चा है पर जाता नहीं। डेप्रिसिएशन क्या है? व्हाट इज द डेप्रिसिएशन? एक्सपेंसेस बट नॉट पेड। The question arises, if depreciation is not paid in cash, then why we should consider in our profit? Depreciation should be provided out of the profit before declaring dividend. The question is why? Why we should consider the depreciation before deciding the profit for declaration of dividend? The answer is here. Dividend is an apportionment from revenue profit. Therefore, dividend should never be declared out of the capital. Second point, depreciation is a notional estimation of the reduction in the value of asset due to wear and tear, a flux of time, improvements in technology. If depreciation is not provided for, there will be two consequences. The value of asset will be overstated in the balance sheet and the profit for the current year will be over. When we use the assets of the assets in the business, the value becomes down time by time. So the down amount, the reducing amount in the value of asset should be reduced in the profit. Because whether हम लोगों ने अगर कोई asset हमने खरीदी, भले ही हमने कोई खर्चा नहीं किया, लेकिन उसकी वैल्यू तो कम हो गई एक साल बाद। यानी उस प्रॉफिट को कमाने के लिए इस असेट का भी तो हमें कहीं ना कहीं इसकी वैल्यू कम करना पड़ा। तो एक्चुअल प्रॉफिट, तो वाई फॉर गेटिंग द एक्चुअल प्रॉफिट वी शुड reduce the amount of depreciation from the profit, and that net profit should be available for a purpose of dividend. यहां तक क्लियर है? I think this point is clear, because if we do not reduce, we do not consider the amount of depreciation in the profit and loss account, then asset will be shown at higher side, profit will also be shown at higher side, and that is not actual. Transfer to reserve, transferred amount of profit transferred to reserve. Question arises whether company must transfer some amount of profit to the reserve. So we will discuss. क्या कंपनी को डिविडेंड बांटने से पहले कुछ पैसा रिजर्व में ट्रांसफर करना कंपलसरी है? We should discuss. Company may transfer such percentage of profit to free reserves before declaration of dividend as it may consider necessary. बात खत्म हो गई एक लाइन में. Topic is closed in this line. As it may consider necessary. यानी कि it means company will decide whether to transfer to free reserves or not. Second point is just the explanation. Such transfer is not mandatory, and the percentage to be transferred to reserve is to be decided at the discretion of the. बात खत्म. कंपनी डिसाइड करेगी रिजर्व में ट्रांसफर करना है कि नहीं करना, नहीं कर मना करने का, नहीं करो. लगता है कंपनी को भाई हमें पैसा ट्रांसफर नहीं करना, बहुत पैसा आने वाला है, बहुत प्रॉफिट होने वाला है, हमें डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करना है, कर दो भाई, कुछ मत ट्रांसफर. Right? So continue on the example number illustration 1. For the current year, Alma Watches Limited proposes to transfer more than 10% of the profit to the reserve before declaration of dividend at the rate of 12%. Can company do so? Definitely yes. What is saying in the example illustration 1? Ki company deciding to declare dividend at 12% and transfer to and wants to transfer the amount of profit to reserve is more than 10%. Whether it can do so? Yes. कंपनी डिक्लेयर कर रही है डिविडेंड 12% और रिजर्व में ट्रांसफर कर रही है 10%. क्या कर सकती है? डेफिनेटली कर सकती है. The amount to be transferred to reserve out of the profit for any financial year before the declaration of dividend has been left to the discretion of the company. Therefore, Alma Watches Limited is free to transfer any part of its profit to reserve as it may deem. Discretion means उसकी इच्छा पर बेटे, अपनी इच्छा पर. एक सेकंड. Brick Shipyards Limited has earned a profit of rupees 1,000 crore for the financial year 2022-23. It has proposed a dividend of 8.75%. However, it does not intend to transfer any amount to the reserve out of the profit. Can do so? Answer is yes. Company wants to declare the dividend 8.75%, but does not want to transfer any amount to reserves. Can do so? Yes. The company is free to transfer any part of its profit to reserve as it may deem fit, or it may even not transfer any profit to reserve if it is deemed appropriate before the declaration of dividend. Thus, Briggs Shipyards Limited is justified in its action if it does not transfer any amount of profit to the reserve. Clear itni baat? Miss Meghna Chauhan is asking, sir, can company transfer full profit to reserve? Yes. Any amount. ये कंपनी डिसाइड करी कितना ट्रांसफर करना. यहां तक कोई डाउट हो तो बताओ बच्चों, रिजर्व तक पूछो। कोई डाउट? आगे बढ़ूं? डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ डिविडेंड, एक सेकंड बच्चों। Declaration of dividend in case of adequacy or absence of profit, second proviso to section 123, means we want to declare the dividend but we have no profit. Prince is asking, sir, it means it is not necessary to declare dividend at all? The answer is yes. एक क्वेरी बच्चा पूछ रहा है कोई मेरा, स्वाति इज आस्किंग, क्या कह रही है स्वाति बिटिया? सर प्लीज एक्सप्लेन इलस्ट्रेशन 1. Illustration 1 saying, for the current year, Alma Watches want to transfer more than 10% to reserve before declaring dividend at the rate of 12%. Means it wants to declare the dividend at 12% and wants to transfer 10% to reserve. Can come do so? The answer is yes. ठीक है, चलिए एक सेकंड। See, where in the year there are no adequate profit for declaring dividend, it means we have no profit for declaration of dividend, the company may declare dividend out of the accumulated profit, पिछले सालों का profit earned in the previous years and transferred by it to the free reserves only in accordance with the rule 3 of the company's declaration and payment of dividend rules 2014. जो भी पैसा हमने फ्री रिजर्व में ट्रांसफर किया होगा उससे हम डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर कर सकते हैं। तो व्हाट इज द अमाउंट ऑफ द फ्री रिजर्व that can be used for the declaration of dividend if there is no adequate profit for the purpose of dividend? अगर कंपनी के पास पैसा नहीं है बांटने के लिए, प्रॉफिट नहीं है, तो फ्री रिजर्व को यूज कर सकती है फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ डिविडेंड। Proviso and provisions are kindly explain the difference. Proviso is the exception to the section. Proviso is the exceptional provisions, right? Exception. Sir, is there any resolution to transfer in free reserve? Resolution means, please clear करिए, आप क्या पूछना चाह रहे हैं बेटा? If a holding company is creating a reserve, then will it be mandatory to the subsidiary to create reserve also for declaring dividend? I don't think so कि अगर होल्डिंग कंपनी रिजर्व क्रिएट कर रही है तो सब्सिडी को करना पड़ेगा, ऐसा नहीं है। Sir, can company, Dipanshu is asking, sir, can company transfer more than profit from their capital? Capital cannot be used for the purpose of distribution as dividend. Sir, what is the minimum percentage of paid up capital should be held by the shareholder to get dividend? We will discuss. Wait. ये पूछ रहे हैं सर कितना रोक के रखना है, प्रॉफिट कैसे बांटना है, उसका अभी वेट करिए, डिस्कस करते हैं। Someone is asking, sir, the example on the carrying amount of asset, change in carrying amount of asset or liabilities. That is the revaluation point. Revaluation की हम बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर बच्चे, ठीक है? Now, free reserve do not include. This is important for your examination point of view, because if the descriptive question is asked for the amount of dividend to be declared, this should be considered. Please underline this point, which is not included in free reserves. I have discussed revaluation reserve, unrealized profit, they are not considered in the free reserves. जो पैसा है ही नहीं, अंदाजा लगाया हुआ है. रिवैल्यूएशन मतलब क्या है? What is the revaluation reserve? I have purchased the asset for 1 crore. I think it is market value is 5 crore. तो 4 crore is unrealized reserve. मैंने बेचा नहीं है, बस एज्यूम किया ये इतने का हो जाएगा, राइट? तो इसको हम कंसीडर नहीं करेंगे. मतलब एजम्पशन पे को हम डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कैसे कर सकते हैं? What we have assumed this will be the profit. Okay, we have assumed and now want to distribute. ठीक है ना? Any amount representing unrealized gain, notional gain, or revaluation of assets, whether shown as reserve or otherwise, or any change in the carrying amount of an asset or of a liability recognized in equity, including surplus in profit and loss account on the measurement of asset or liabilities at their fair value, right? These are important conditions. Please stay with me. Sir, company can use free reserve for the payment of interest on debenture. देखिए, interest on debenture is the compulsory, it's the liability. You have to pay, right? Carrying amount means, can you explain what is the, for which regarding which amount you are asking? Sir, does the dividend is declared to every shareholder or some specified shareholder? No, it is based on the share capital, face value of shares. Can we say dividend is like bonus? No, dividend is the distribution of profit, not a bonus. Okay. See, these are the condition of rule 3. What we have discussed, the rule of the rule distribution of dividend rules. Rule number 3 में 4 condition है, 1, 2, 3, 4 we will discuss, and all the conditions should be applied for declaration of dividend. So see, first is the rate of dividend declared shall not exceed the average rate at which dividend was declared by company in the immediately preceding 3 years. The rate of dividend declared shall not exceed the average rate of dividend at which dividend was declared by company in the immediately preceding 3 years. Rate of dividend should be less than equal to average rate, where RD1, RD2, RD3 are rate at which dividend was declared by company in the immediately preceding 3 years. However, this condition shall not apply if company has not declared any dividend in each of the 3 preceding financial year. अगर पिछले 3 सालों में डिविडेंड नहीं दिया है तो ये कंडीशन अप्लाई नहीं होगी. चलिए पहले मैं डिस्कस करता हूं, देन आई विल टेक योर प्रॉब्लम्स. Second condition, the total amount to be withdrawn from such accumulated profit shall not exceed 10% of its paid up capital and free reserves as appearing in the latest audited financial statement. It means total amount that is drawn from the profit should be less than equal to 10% of paid up capital plus free reserves. Condition number 3 and 4. The amount so drawn shall be first utilized to set off the losses incurred. यानी जो amount निकाला उससे हम पहले loss को set off करेंगे. Incurred in the financial year in which dividend is declared, and only thereafter any dividend in respect of the equity share shall be declared. The balance of reserve after such withdrawal shall not be less than 15% of the paid up capital as appearing in the latest audited financial statement. It means free reserves में से amount less करेंगे, किसका जो हमने decide किया dividend के लिए, that should be more than equal to 15% of paid up capital. All the above conditions should be satisfied. Conditions prescribed by Rule 3 are not applicable to the government company in which entire paid up share capital is held by central government, state government, or the combination. अगर गवर्नमेंट कंपनी है, उसने पूरी कैपिटल होल्ड कर रखी है, तो ये 3 कंडीशन अप्लाई नहीं होगी. वंस अगेन वी आर डिस्कसिंग दीज कंडीशंस. ठीक है. रूल फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, व्हेन रूल 3 विल बी एप्लीकेबल. Rule 3 will be applicable if the profit is not available for dividend. It means profit is there, Rule 3 will not be applicable. तो अगर प्रॉफिट है तो रूल 3 एप्लीकेबल नहीं करेंगे, अगर प्रॉफिट नहीं है तो रूल 3 एप्लीकेबल हो जाएगा. पहली बात क्लियर हो गई बच्चों. सेकंड, इसमें क्या कंडीशन क्या है? 3 कंडीशंस. फर्स्ट, मैक्सिमम रेट ऑफ डिविडेंड शुड बी द एवरेज रेट ऑफ डिविडेंड इन द प्रीवियस 3 years. क्लियर इतनी बात? सेकंड कंडीशन क्या है? अमाउंट ड्रॉन from the funds, accumulated fund, previous funds should be less than equal to 10% of the paid up capital plus free reserves. दो कंडीशन समझ में आ गई. Remaining, this amount drawn should be utilized for losses. Set of should be utilized for set off of losses of the previous. And the remaining amount in the free reserve after the amount drawn should be more than 15% of the paid up. And these conditions will not be applicable for the company in which all the share capital is held by central government or state government or the combination. So these conditions please एक बार आप reading कीजिए, then इस पे हम practical question discuss करेंगे. First you read this condition, then we will discuss the examples. Sir, in case newly incorporated company, average rate of 3 preceding year not applied. Definitely yes. Sir, can you explain the difference of dividend paid to equity shareholders and preference shareholders? देखिए preference shareholders क्या होते हैं ना, उनको priority मिलती है. They got the priority, they got the preference. So first the amount should be distributed to the preference shareholder as dividend, and उसके बाद अगर कुछ बचता है, इसको मिलेगा equity shareholders को. Srinivasan is asking, sir, free reserves includes, we have discussed better. कंडीशन 2 का एग्जांपल, मैं पूरा एग्जांपल लूंगा बेटा, जस्ट वेट. आप इसको रीडिंग करिए पहले एक बार. देखिए, इफ कंपनी इज न्यू, दैट इज दे आर नॉट 3 years, देन कंडीशन 1 विल नॉट बी एप्लीकेबल, 2 और 3 4 विल बी एप्लीकेबल, राइट. अगर नया होगा तो फर्स्ट ईयर है तो एक्यूमुलेटेड प्रॉफिट की तो बात ही नहीं होती बेटा. सर, इफ ओनली कंडीशन नॉट फॉलोड, then rule 3 will not apply. देखिए, rule 3 will be applied only where there is a loss in current year. It means loss or the profit is not adequate to distribute the dividend, right? Manish is asking that these conditions apply only in case of adequacy or absence of profit. Definitely yes. चलिए एक बार इसको रीड कीजिए, फिर क्वेश्चंस करते हैं इसके बेटा एक बार, देन इसके बाद थोड़ा ब्रेक लेंगे 10 मिनट का, and then we will finish this topic. See the example. Capricorn Industries Limited has a paid up capital of 200 lakhs and accumulated reserve 240 lakhs. Loss for the year ending 31st March 2020 is rupees 30 lakhs. Dividend was declared at the following rates during the 3 years immediately preceding: 9%, 10%, 12%. What is the maximum rate at which company can declare dividend for the current year? एक बार दोबारा पढ़ लीजिए बच्चों, प्लीज रीड इट अगेन. लॉस, पेड अप कैपिटल 200 lakhs, accumulated profit 240 lakhs, loss is 30 lakhs, and average rate of dividend निकालनी है तो कितनी आएगी 9 plus 10 plus 12 divided by 3, right? So in the given case, Capricorn Industries Limited has not made adequate profit during the current year, ending on 31st March 2020, but it still wants to declare dividend. Let us apply the condition. Condition 1. Average rate 9 plus 10 plus 12 divided by 3 equal to 10.33%. Therefore, the rate of dividend shall not exceed 10.33%. Iska for of which paid up capital, that is 200 lakhs. So what should be the maximum amount as per condition 1 is 20.6 lakhs. यहाँ तक clear है? What is the maximum amount as per condition 1 is 20.6 lakhs. Clear है यहाँ तक बच्चों? Condition 2 and 3, paid up capital plus free reserves. We assuming all reserve are free for distribution of dividend. That is 440 lakhs, and maximum amount what can be withdrawn is 44 lakhs. That is 10%. ठीक है? So 10% amount, 10% of the paid up capital and free reserve is 44 lakhs, and first should be utilized for the set off of losses, that is 30 lakhs. So amount available for distribution of dividend is 14 lakhs. 2 and 3 clear हुई बच्चों? भाई 200 की कैपिटल है, 240 lakhs का क्या है हमारे पास फ्री रिजर्व है, टोटल 440 lakhs. मैक्सिमम अमाउंट 10% कितना हुआ 44 lakhs. पहले क्या एडजस्ट करेंगे इसको हम 30 lakhs जो लॉस है हमारा, तो बचा कितना डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन के लिए ओनली 40. Now we have to apply the condition number 4. What is the condition? 15% should be remained. Accumulated reserve कितना था 240, बाट कितना दिया हमने 14 lakhs, बचा कितना 226. Whether this amount is more than equal to 15% of the 200 lakhs, the answer is yes, because 15% comes to 330 lakhs and we have 226. Once again, come to the condition 1, 2, 3 and 4. According to condition 1, average rate 10.33%, the amount comes to 20.6 lakhs of 200 lakh. Amount drawn, maximum कितना draw कर सकते हैं हम 10% of the paid up capital plus free reserves 440 lakhs का 10%, what is the amount 44 lakhs, and out of this 44 lakhs we have to adjust the loss. How much? 30 lakhs. So what is the amount available for distribution of dividend is 14 lakhs. Now whether condition number 4 is satisfying? What is the condition number 4? The remaining amount in the free reserve should be more than equal to 15% of paid up capital. ठीक है? What is the 15%? 30 lakhs, but we have 226 lakhs. यानी कि हमारी जो कंडीशन 4 है वो भी सेटिस्फाई हो रही है, तो what should be the maximum amount? That is 14 lakhs. That is 7%. यहाँ तक क्लियर है? Conditions 4, वो एक बच्चा पूछ रहा कह रहा है, someone is saying sir in textbook only 3 conditions. Conditions are there, बस मतलब marking change करते हैं. I have changed the marking. Condition, all conditions what I have discussed here, all the mentioned in your textbook. ठीक है? तो अब जरा एक बार हिंदी में समझा दूं, कुछ बच्चों की डिमांड आ रही है सर हिंदी में बता दीजिए. कंडीशन 1 क्या कहती है? अगर लॉस है, प्रॉफिट नहीं है आपके पास, तो आप क्या करेंगे? एवरेज रेट दे सकते हैं मैक्सिमम. ठीक है? उसके लिए आपको प्रॉफिट निकालना पड़ेगा. एवरेज कितनी आई थी हमारी? 20.6. चार्जिंग रह गया था, 1 मिनट रुकिए बच्चों, अब आ जाएगा। ठीक है बच्चे, कितना आया था? 20.6 लाख। एवरेज रेट क्या आई थी? 10.33 लाख। अब हमें जो पैसा निकालना है पुराने फंड में से, पुराने डब्बे में से, मैक्सिमम कितना निकाल सकते हैं हम? 10% ऑफ कैपिटल प्लस रिजर्व। हाउ मच अमाउंट? फॉर 440 का 10% कितना हुआ बेटे? 44 लाख। इसमें से क्या लेस करना है अपने को? जो लॉस है हमारा, वो पहले एडजस्ट करेंगे। अब बचा कितना हमारे पास डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करने के लिए? 14 लाख। अब लास्ट कंडीशन एक बार चेक कर लेते हैं कि अप्लाई हो रही है नहीं हो रही है। लास्ट कंडीशन क्या थी? कि ये डिस्ट्रीब्यूट जो पैसा हम निकाल रहे हैं, इसको निकालने के बाद हमारे पास कम से कम 15% पैसा बचना चाहिए। किसका? पेड अप कैपिटल। तो रिजर्व कितने थे हमारे? 240 के, हमने निकाला कितना? 14 लाख। बचा कितना? 226 लाख। कितना मिनिमम होना चाहिए? 30 लाख। यानी कि हम सही है, हमने सेटिस्फाई कर ली चारों कंडीशंस। तो मैक्सिमम कितना हुआ डिविडेंड का? 14 लाख। रेट क्या निकली? 7%। राइट। Shagun is asking, sir, all these four conditions needs to be satisfied if we have to declare dividend in case of loss in current year. The answer is yes. 7% कैसे आया? पूजा इज आस्किंग। पूजा बेटे 14 लाख किसका? 200 लाख का। पेड अप कैपिटल कितनी थी हमारी? व्हाट इज द पेड अप कैपिटल? 200 लाख। तो 14 लाख कितना हुआ? 7% ही तो हुआ बेटे। Reserve of Suman is asking, sir, reserve of 240 lakhs is after losses. Yes, accumulated free reserves. ठीक है। मिस्टर जगतपति is asking, sir, in condition 4, we actually withdrawn 44 lakhs. But why should we deduct only 14 from the reserve? Listen, you have not withdrawn. You just calculating. Actually, what you have withdrawn the amount 14 lakhs for the purpose of distribution of dividend. You are not withdrawing the amount of loss. You are just adjusting. ठीक है ना? कोई डाउट यहां तक? पूछो बच्चों, कोई डाउट हो तो फिर एक क्वेश्चन, अभी एक क्वेश्चन और लेते हैं। कोई डाउट हो तो पूछो बच्चों। चलिए सी द एग्जाम्पल। someone is asking again, sir, how 7% calculated? देखिए, listen, what we have decided as per the condition, maximum amount is 14 lakhs. On which capital amount कितना है? What is the paid up capital? Is 200 lakhs. What is the paid up capital? Is 200 lakhs. Dividend is 14 lakhs on 200 lakhs. So what is the percentage? कैलकुलेट कीजिए। Swati is asking, sir, why we have taken 15%? 15% is given in rule number 3, beta. जय की दो क्वेरी आई है मेरे पास। मिस्टर जय हैज गिवन टू क्वेरीज, यस सर और नो सर। वन इज यस सर, सेकंड इज नो सर। बेटा पूछ क्या कहना चाह रहा है बेटा? सर रेट ऑफ डिविडेंड कैन बी different for equity shares and preference shares. Yes, definitely can be different. चलिए illustration number 4। Shipra's Sugar Mills Limited has been regularly declaring dividend at the rate of 20% on its equity shares for the past 3 years. However, the company has not made adequate profits during the current years, ending on 31st March 2020, but it has got adequate free reserves which can be utilized for maintaining the rate of dividend at 20%. Advise the company as to how it should proceed in the matter if it wants to declare dividend at the rate of 20% for the year 1920 as per the provisions of Companies Act 2013. Please read once again the election number 4. Mr. Deepshre is asking, sir, what is the rule number? What is rule number 3? Beta, what we have discussed in just before, that is the rule number 3. जो भी हमने पढ़ा सारा वो सब rule number 3 था बेटे. Come to the answer. The company can declare a dividend out of the accumulated free reserve subject to the satisfaction of the following conditions. Why 3 conditions? 3 and 4 conditions. The rate of dividend declared should not exceed the average of the rate at which dividend was declared by the company at the immediately preceding 3 years. Clear है ये बात? However, this condition shall not apply if the company has not declared any dividend in each of the 3 financial years, preceding financial year. The total amount to be drawn from free reserve shall not exceed 10% of its paid up share capital and free reserves as per the latest audited financial balance sheet. That is called condition number 2. The amounts drawn shall be first utilized to set off the losses incurred in the current financial year, and only thereafter dividend at 20% shall be. And after such withdrawal from free reserve, the residual reserve shall not be below 15% of paid up capital as per the latest audited balance sheet. Now the company is advised to get the desired dividend recommended by board of directors and propose the same for the approval of members in the. यानी कि ये सारी कैलकुलेशन कौन करेगा? Who will do such calculation? The board of directors, and then they present in AGM and the shareholder will approve that amount. Clear इतनी बात? यहां तक कोई क्वेरी पूछो बच्चों. कोई क्वेरी नहीं? एक सेकंड, चलिए. सर जी, वी कैन इंक्लूड अनएब्जॉर्ब डेप्रिसिएशन कंडीशन नंबर 3. डेफिनेटली आप कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं लॉस, वो डेप्रिसिएशन के बाद ही एडजस्ट करेंगे. Srinivasan is asking, sir, why 15% fixed for the balance in free reserve? I think this was decided by the lawmakers. Why तो हम कह नहीं सकते. I always told you, law, we are here to discuss what is the law. We are not here to discuss why the law is there. ठीक है ना? तो mention है rule 3 में, that is 15% we should take. Okay. So before starting the depositing of amount of dividend, we are taking the break of 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, we will rejoin and complete the topic. ठीक है बच्चों, यहाँ हम ब्रेक ले रहे हैं 10 मिनट का, उसके बाद अपन स्टार्ट. ओके। समवन इज सेइंग सर ये पीडीएफ अपलोड नहीं हुआ है। वो मैंने तो अपलोड कर दिया, बाकी बच्चों को मिल गया बेटा, एक बार आप दोबारा चेक करिए। If company has declared dividend in last 2 years at 9% and 10%, then can we take the average of 3 years is 0, 9 and 10 divided by 3? I think if companies, in my views, according to me, if companies incorporated only just 2 years before, then for calculating the average, it should be 2 years. Right? चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. Depositing of the amount of dividend, although we have already discussed this point, I am just again taking in terms of section 123 subsection 4, the amount of dividend including interim dividend shall be deposited in separate bank account maintained with a scheduled bank. This is to be done within 5 days from the date of declaration of dividend. See the example number 5. The authorized and paid up share capital of Avantika Ayurvedic Products Limited is rupees 50 lakhs divided into 5 lakh equity shares of rupees 10 each. At its AGM held on 24th September 2023, the company declared a dividend of rupees 2 per share by passing an ordinary resolution. The amount of dividend must be deposited in a scheduled bank in a separate account latest by 29 September. 20 सितंबर डिक्लेयर हुआ डिविडेंड कब तक जमा करना है हमें? 29 सितंबर, यानी विद इन 5 डेज. ठीक है. Next point regarding the payment of dividend. Dividend shall be payable only to the registered shareholder or to his order or to his banker. It means registered shareholder कौन है? The member whose name is mentioned in the register of members. The director of East West Limited proposed a dividend at the rate of 15% on equity shares for the financial year 22 and 23. On 28th September 2023, that is the record date for payment of dividend. The dividend was approved in AGM on 30th September. Announce कब हुआ? 28 September को. Approve कब हुआ? 30th September को. Mr. Binoy was the holder of 2000 shares on 31st March 2018, but transferred the share to Mr. Mohan, whose name has been entered in the register of members on 18th June 2023, who will be entitled to the above dividend. क्वेश्चन ध्यान से पढ़िए बच्चों, बहुत इजी क्वेश्चन है. डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर हुआ, अप्रूव हुआ 30 सितंबर 2023 को. बिनॉय के पास 2000 शेयर्स थे जो उसने 31 मार्च 2018 खरीदे थे, लेकिन जून में, इट मींस बिफोर एजीएम, ही हैज ट्रांसफर्ड ऑल हिज शेयर्स. नाउ हुज नेम इज इन द रजिस्टर ऑफ मेंबर्स? बिनॉय और मोहन? द आंसर इज मोहन. तो मोहन विल बी एलिजिबल टू गेट द डिविडेंड. सी द आंसर. According to section 123, dividend shall be paid by company only to the registered shareholder of such shares. Record date is the date announced by the company for determining entitlement to the dividend. All those persons whose name is included in the register of members on that date shall be entitled to the dividend. In the instant case, on the date announced by the company as record date, Mr. Mohan's name is present in the register of members. Mr. Binoy's name is not present in therein. Therefore, the dividend should be paid to Mr. Mohan, who is the registered shareholder on the record. Please read it carefully. I am taking your query. Sir, if we transfer amount from free reserves, where to transfer from free reserves? First, you clear. Next query, sir, dividend declare interim dividend date is different than 5 days from the date or on final dividend date. Listen, in any dividend, if interim dividend is declared in the May 2023, or let's suppose 25th May, then 5 days from 25th May. Final dividend is declared in AGM on 28 September, then 5 days from 28 September for final dividend. आप क्लियर करिए भाई. क्वेश्चन पूछा एक बच्चे ने कि सर डिविडेंड इंटरिम और फाइनल डिविडेंड तो अलग अलग होंगे, तो 5 दिन कौन से माने जाएंगे? अरे बेटा, ये सिंपल सी बात है. जिस डिविडेंड की हम बात कर रहे हैं, जो भी डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर हुआ है, उसके 5 दिन के अंदर उसे बैंक में जमा करना है ताकि वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया जा सके. रिकॉर्ड डेट मीन्स अनाउंस डेट. ठीक है, लिसन, कंपनी अनाउंस एज द रिकॉर्ड डेट फॉर पेमेंट ऑफ डिविडेंड. जिस दिन अनाउंस कर दिया कंपनी ने, वो रिकॉर्ड डेट मान लो. इलेक्शन नंबर 6. The board of directors of Som Mechanical Toys Limited proposed a dividend at 12% on equity shares for financial year 2022 and 23. The same was approved at the annual general meeting of the company held on 25th June 2023. Mr. Nitin Jha was holding 1,000 equity share as on 31st March 2023, but the same were transferred to Mr. Raj, whose name was registered on 20th April. The register of members, who will get the dividend? Raj or Nitin? Tell me. At the time of declaration of dividend, who is the registered shareholder? Mr. Raj. Then he will get the dividend. He will be entitled to get the dividend. According to section 123 subsection 5, dividend shall be payable only to the registered shareholder of the shares or to his order or to his banker. Facts in the given case state that Mr. Nitin Jha, the holder of the equity share, transferred his share to Mr. Raj, whose name was registered on 20th April 2023. Since Mr. Raj became the registered shareholder before the declaration of dividend in AGM of the company held on 25th June, he will be entitled to the. किसको मिलेगा डिविडेंड? मिस्टर राज को. ये सबके आंसर आ रहे हैं, बहुत अच्छी बात है. आप लोग जगे हुए हो, जगे रहना. सुपर ओवर के सारे आंसर सही चाहिए मुझे इस बार. एक नोट है, इंपॉर्टेंट है, थोड़ा सा नोट कर लो. एक क्वेरी भी आई थी इस पर आपकी. समवन हैज आस्क्ड क्वेरी ऑन दिस पॉइंट. According to section 51, a company may, if so authorized by its articles, pay dividend in proportion to the amount paid up on each share. It means if company wants to reduce the amount of dividend on the basis of paid up value, it should be authorized by the AO. Suppose some of the shareholders have paid only 5 rupees, face value 10, on each share held by them. In case of declaration of dividend at the rate of 5 per share, the company, if authorized by articles, shall be justified in paying dividend at rupees 2.5 per share in respect of partly paid up. The company अगर proportionately reduce करना चाहती है on the basis of paid up value, तो उसको AO में मेंशन करना पड़ेगा. और अगर AO में ऑथराइज हो गया तो डेफिनेटली दे कैन. एक बार रीडिंग कर लीजिए बच्चे. Vaishali Bindal is asking, sir, if an amount of free reserve is transferred to any restricted reserve, then can be used for distribution of dividend? Answer is no. The balance of the reserve in free reserve is only available fund for the distribution of dividend. Pooja is asking, sir, can interim dividend declared if there is loss in the past year? The answer is yes. If in current year there is profit, the directors may decide to declare the interim dividend. Sir, please explain equity shares. I think this topic has been covered by sir. सर ने टॉपिक कवर कर लिया. व्हाट इज द इक्विटी शेयर्स? मोड ऑफ पेमेंट ऑफ डिविडेंड, किस मोड में पेमेंट होगा, किस वे में पेमेंट होगा डिविडेंड. डिविडेंड आर पेबल इन कैश only, not in kind. Dividends that are payable to shareholders in cash may also be paid by check or dividend warrant or through an electronic mode, online payment. But in case of Nidhi company, any dividend payable in cash may be paid by crediting the same to the account of member if dividend is not claimed in 30 days from the date of declaration. जिस दिन डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर किया उसके 30 दिन तक शेयर होल्डर ने क्लेम नहीं किया इन केस ऑफ निधि कंपनी, तो कंपनी उसके अकाउंट में ये अमाउंट ट्रांसफर कर सकती है. Prohibition on declaration of dividend. In these conditions, in these two conditions, company cannot declare the dividend. In these two conditions, company cannot declare the dividend. A company which fails to comply with section 73, prohibition on acceptance of deposit from public, and section 74, repayment of deposit, etc., accepted before the commencement of the Act of 2013, shall not, so long as such failures continues, declare any dividend on the equity shares. I think section 73, 74 already covered in your classes. तो अगर उनको आपने कंप्लाई नहीं किया है तो आप डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर नहीं कर सकते. एंड चैरिटेबल कंपनी कैन नॉट डिस्ट्रीब्यूट इट्स प्रॉफिट एज ए डिविडेंड टू इट्स शेयर होल्डर्स. दोनों पॉइंट देख लो बच्चों एक बार. Lokesh is asking, sir, once you explain again about Nidhi company declaration of dividend. See, in case of Nidhi company, if shareholder could not claim the amount of dividend within 30 days from the date of dividend, then the company can pay the amount of dividend by crediting the same to the account of member. उसके अकाउंट को क्रेडिट करके इसको पे कर सकती है. ठीक है सर. Now time for super over 2. Ready for it? Sir, Pooja is asking, sir, can interim dividend declared from past year profit? Can be. We have already discussed beta. जो provision फाइनल डिविडेंड पे एप्लीकेबल है वो इंटरिम डिविडेंड पर भी एप्लीकेबल है. Sir, if the amount transfer from the revaluation reserve to free reserves, beta, revaluation reserve cannot be transferred to free reserves. कभी नहीं होगा. ठीक है, स्टार्ट करते हैं. Board of A Limited decided to propose dividend at 12%, but no amount to be transferred to reserve. Shareholder wants to decrease the rate of dividend at 10%, rest to be transferred to reserve. Can shareholder do so? बताइए भाई, आगे बढ़े फिर इसके अलावा नोट करते जाइए, आंसर सारे एक साथ शूट कीजिएगा. Free reserve do not include unrealized gains, notional gains, revaluation gain, all the above. विच इज नॉट कवर्ड इन कंडीशन ऑफ रूल 3। इसमें कंडीशन कोई गड़बड़ है, some condition is false in these question, you have to find this. The rate of dividend declared shall not exceed the average of the rates at which dividend was declared by company in the immediately preceding 3 years. The total amount to be drawn from such accumulated profit shall not exceed 10% of its paid up share capital and free reserves as appearing in the latest audited financial statements. The balance of reserves after such withdrawal shall not fall below 12% of its paid up capital as appearing in the latest audited financial statements, none of the above. As per condition 1, the maximum amount of dividend payable is 12 lakh. If paid up capital of company is 100 lakhs and free reserve 200 lakhs and previous year losses were 22 lakhs, then what should be the maximum dividend as per condition 2 and 3? I think this error, this is not previous year losses, this is current year loss. Please correct it. It is not previous year loss, it is current year loss. Continuing the question 4, what would be the maximum dividend as per condition 4? 12 lakh, 10 lakh, 8 lakh, none of the above. Only 5 questions are here. So send the answer, then we will take. एक बच्चा मेरा पूछ रहा है सर इज द डिविडेंड रेट मेंशन इन द प्रोस्पेक्टस आल्सो। बेटा प्रोस्पेक्टस में कैसे मेंशन कर सकते हैं, हमें कैसे मालूम होगा कि प्रॉफिट होगा कि नहीं होगा, हम कितना डिविडेंड देंगे? ठीक है ना, नॉट पॉसिबल। सेंड द आंसर्स। चलिए अब लेता हूँ आगे बच्चों के आंसर्स। तो फर्स्ट आंसर इज yes, they can do so. Next, everybody knows the answer. It is D. Next, which is the wrong point? Third one, because it is 12% is mentioned here. It is 15%. As per condition 1, maximum कितना है? 12%, right? 10% आपने amount drawn from the funds, 10% of capital plus free reserve, that is 30 lakhs. First you adjust 22 lakhs, the remaining amount is 8 lakhs. So what is the maximum amount? 8 lakhs. According to condition 4, what is the condition 4? Remaining amount should be at least 15% of the capital. 15% of capital is amount 15 lakhs. But what is our balance after the payment of dividend? 200 minus 8 lakh equal to 192 lakh. So what is the maximum amount should be? 8 lakhs. भाई क्या था कंडीशन में कि जो बैलेंस बचा वो 15% होना चाहिए। 100 का 15% कितना हुआ? 15 लाख। पैसा कितना हमारे पास फ्री रिजर्व में? 200 लाख। 8 लाख हमने बांट दिया तो बचा कितना हमारे पास? 192 लाख, 192 लाख। It is more than the 15 lakhs, 15%. So what should be the maximum amount which is decided in condition 3? That is 8 lakh. Right? So who has given all the correct answers? First one is Mr. Sundaran. Congratulations, beta. Second one is Mr. Ninad Desai. Congratulations. Third one is Mr. Anmol Patwa. Congratulations, beta. You have given all the correct answers. Mrs. Suman Goyal. Congratulations. One more. Mr. Harish Chandra. So congratulations all of you who has given all the correct answers. Parth is saying, sir, I can't get calculation. Can you please tell in brief? Okay. Listen. What is the maximum amount as per 3? Clear है कि नहीं है? Maximum amount 12% as per condition 1. Amount withdrawn, maximum amount withdrawn is 10% of 100 plus 200. That is 300 lakh ka 10%. How much amount? 30 lakhs. And first 30 lakhs we will adjust current year loss. That is 22 lakhs. So remaining amount 8 lakhs. So what is the maximum amount? 8 lakhs. Clear itni baat? 8 lakhs we have decided. Now we have to check whether after payment of 8 lakhs, we have at least 15% of share capital in the funds. So if we have 200 lakhs in funds, in reserves, we have paid 8 lakhs. So what we have the balance? 192 lakhs. 15% कितना होता है? How much the 15% of 100 lakhs? 15 lakhs. So we have more than the 15%, then 8 lakhs is okay. We can pay 8 lakhs. Okay. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं और लेता हूँ क्वेरीज. नाउ अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट यूडीए, इस पर डिस्कस करते हैं बच्चों. एक मिनट पानी पी लूं बच्चों, इतना अलाउ कर दो मुझे. ओके. Transfer to special accounts. First point, dividend declared but not paid or claimed. ना कंपनी ने पे किया ना उस शेयर होल्डर ने क्लेम किया. Within 30 days from the date of declaration should be transferred to special account called the unpaid dividend account opened in scheduled bank within 7 days from the expiry of the set period of 30 days. यानी कि you have to wait for 30 days. If dividend is not paid or declared, then within next 7 days, you have to transfer such unpaid amount टू अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट, एक ओपन करना है अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट, उसमें पैसा जमा करना है 7 दिन के अंदर। इफ देयर इज डिफॉल्ट इन ट्रांसफरिंग, if there is default in transferring the total amount or any part thereof to the unpaid dividend account, the company shall pay interest at the rate of 12% on the sum so not transferred from the date of such default. भाई 7 दिन के अंदर पे करना था, हमने 7 दिन में पे नहीं किया तो कंपनी को उस पर 12% पर एनम इंटरेस्ट देना पड़ेगा, कंपनी को अपने पास से देना पड़ेगा। प्रिपेयरिंग ऑफ स्टेटमेंट, now within 90 days of transferring the amount to the unpaid dividend account, जिस दिन ट्रांसफर किया उसके 90 दिन के अंदर the company shall prepare a statement containing the name, last known address and the amount of unpaid dividend to be paid to each person, and place such statement on the website if any, and also on other website approved by the central government for this. यानी कि पहले तो आपको क्या करना है, 30 डेज के तक वेट करना है। डिविडेंड अगर पेमेंट नहीं होता है या क्लेम नहीं होता है तो आप अगले 7 दिन के अंदर एक स्पेशल अकाउंट खोलेंगे, दैट इज कॉल्ड अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट, और उसमें सारा पैसा वो जमा कर दे। जमा करने के 90 दिन के अंदर आपको एक स्टेटमेंट बनाना है कि भैया किस किस का पैसा इसमें है, कौन कौन शेयर होल्डर जिसने पैसा क्लेम नहीं किया, हु आर द शेयर होल्डर्स who are not given or who had not claimed, who has not claimed the amount of dividend, जिन्होंने क्लेम नहीं किया उनकी डिटेल बनानी पड़ेगी, and that statement should be placed on the website of the company if there any or other website which is approved by central government. अगर 7 दिन में कंपनी पैसा ट्रांसफर नहीं करती है, if company does not transfer this amount to the unpaid dividend account in 7 days, the company has to pay the interest at the rate of 12. क्लियर इतनी बात? Claim. Now any person claiming to be entitled to any money transferred to the unpaid dividend account may apply to the company concerned for the payment of money so claimed. यानी किसी को लगता है कि भाई साहब मैं भूल गया था, मैं क्लेम नहीं कर पाया था, तो वो कंपनी को इन्फॉर्म कर सकता है कि भैया मेरा पैसा रह गया, मुझे क्लेम। इफ एनी पर्सन थिंक ही इज कैपेबल, ही इज एंटाइटल्ड, ही इज eligible to claim the amount of dividend which is already transferred to unpaid dividend account, he may apply to the company. Any money transferred to unpaid dividend account is remain unpaid or unclaimed for 7 years. 7 साल तक कंपनी में वो डिविडेंड पेमेंट नहीं हुआ, मतलब फर्स्ट 30 डेज वेट किया, देन ट्रांसफर द अमाउंट टू अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट, एंड अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट में भी 7 years is unpaid or unclaimed. Then this amount will be transferred to the इन्वेस्टर एजुकेशन एंड प्रोटेक्शन फंड, IEPF। ये गवर्नमेंट ने क्रिएट किया हुआ है कि भैया जिनका नहीं मिला है इस पैसे को हमें ट्रांसफर कर दो इन्वेस्टर एजुकेशन प्रोटेक्शन फंड, राइट। द कंपनी शैल सेंड a prescribed statement containing the details of such transfer to the IEPF authority, and in turn the authority shall issue a receipt to the company as the evidence of the such transfer. यानी कि कंपनी क्या करेगी जब ट्रांसफर करेगी, तो व्हाट विल कंपनी डू, company prepare the statement of details of the shareholders for who has not claimed this dividend to the IEPF authority, and IEPF authority give the receipt कि भैया हमें आपने ये पैसा दिया, हम आपको रिसीट दे रहे हैं, ये रसीद आप रखो। क्लियर इतनी बात बच्चों? या तो कोई डाउट? आगे बढ़ते हैं। All the shares now. We have transferred the dividend, unpaid dividend to the IEPF. Now we have to transfer the shares. All the shares in respect of dividend has not been paid or claimed for 7 consecutive years. 7 साल तक continue dividend claim नहीं किया गया, or more shall be transferred by company in the name of IEPF along with the statement containing the prescribed details. यानी कि आप what it's saying that you have already transferred the amount of dividend. Now you have to transfer the number of shares of which the dividend is unpaid or unclaimed for 7 consecutive years. with the details कि किस किस शेयर होल्डर कितना पैसा है, किस किस शेयर होल्डर कितने शेयर्स. By way of explanation, it is clarified, it is important that in case any dividend is paid or claimed for any year during the said period of 7 consecutive years, इस 7 सालों के बीच में किसी साल में डिविडेंड पेमेंट हो चुका तो वो शेयर ट्रांसफर नहीं होगी. If in the block of 7 years in any year dividend has been claimed, then share will not be transferred to IEPF. Clear? Now share has been transferred to IEPF after 7 years. कोई जागा, one person has no, I have to claim those shares from IEPF account. He can do so. Government says yes, you can do so. You have to complete the formalities. Shares so transferred to IEPF can be reclaimed from IEPF in accordance with the prescribed procedure and on submission of the prescribed documents. आप डॉक्यूमेंट सबमिट कीजिए, आप अपना क्लेम सबमिट कीजिए. अगर आपने चीजें प्रॉपर कर ली तो वो शेयर आपको वापस कर दिए जाएंगे. Now, what is the punishment for contravention? कंपनी के लिए आप इसको ट्रांसफर नहीं करते हैं, शेयर ट्रांसफर नहीं करते. इफ यू नॉट ट्रांसफर द अमाउंट ऑफ डिविडेंड, यू नॉट ट्रांसफर द अमाउंट ऑफ you not transfer the shares to the IEPF, then what is the penalty? For company, minimum fine 1 lakh and rupees 500 per day, subject to maximum 10 lakh. For officer, each officer in default, fine minimum 25,000 plus 100 rupees per day, subject to maximum 2 lakh. IEPF अभी तो डिस्कस किया बच्चे मेरे, वो सर पूछ रहा बच्चा सर व्हाट इज द IEPF, अभी डिस्कस किया है. इन्वेस्टर एजुकेशन प्रोटेक्शन फंड, डिटेल अभी अब डिस्कस करेंगे. अभी विल डिस्कस इन डिटेल. आ गया IEPF, इन्वेस्टर एजुकेशन प्रोटेक्शन फंड. का पर्पस क्या है, इसमें कौन कौन से फंड आएंगे और उस फंड को हम किस किस काम के लिए यूज कर सकते हैं. नाउ वी आर डिस्कसिंग इन दिस फंड व्हाट इज द सोर्सेस एंड फॉर विच ऑब्जेक्ट these amount were used. So first is credit to IEPF. What should be transferred to IEPF? Section 125 subsection 2. Amount given by central government by way of grant. Central government ने जो grant these fund के लिए they are covered. Donation given by central government, state government, companies or any other institutions for the purpose of this fund. Amount lying in the unpaid dividend account of companies which is transferred by them to the fund under section 124 section 5 we have already discussed. Amount in general revenue account of the central government which had been transferred to that account under section 205A subsection 5 of the Companies Act 1956. यानी ये वो अकाउंट है जो 19 पुराने लॉ के अकॉर्डिंग ट्रांसफर किया गया था IEPF. Amount lying in IEPF under section 205C of the Companies Act 1956 में जो बैलेंस पड़ा हुआ था, 1956 एक्ट के अकॉर्डिंग जो बैलेंस पड़ा हुआ था. Income from investment in form of interest received out of the investment made from the fund. इस फंड में जो पैसा आया उससे हमने अगर यूज किया और उसको कहीं इन्वेस्ट किया, उस पर जो इंटरेस्ट आया वो भी इसका पार्ट होगा, फंड का पार्ट होगा. Amount received through disposal of securities seized from a person who has been convicted for personation for acquisition of securities. So you first understand what is the meaning of personation. I mentioned involving falsely representing oneself as another person in order to fraudulently obtain or acquire securities. यानी कि किसी ने धोखे से कोई सिक्योरिटीज एक्वायर कर ली हो, फॉल्स झूठ बोल के कैसे भी करके, तो उनको अगर सीज किया है गवर्नमेंट ने, तो उनका जो सीज करके अगर उनका कुछ पैसा रिलाइज हुआ है तो वो भी इस फंड में जाएगा. Application money received by companies for allotment of any securities and due for refund which is unclaimed or unpaid for 7 years from the date it became due for payment. Application money रिसीव हुई बट वापस नहीं गई 7 साल तक, वो पैसा भी इसमें आएगा। मैच्योर डिपॉजिट विद कंपनी अदर देन बैंकिंग कंपनीज, unclaimed, unpaid for 7 years, it will be this amount should be transferred to this fund. Mature debentures with companies but not claimed for 7 years, that amount will also be transferred to this fund. Please read this slides, two slides carefully. Someone is asking, sir, what about the dividend whose shares got transferred into IEPF? So जो शेयर आईपीएफ में ट्रांसफर होगा, द शेयर दोज आर ट्रांसफर टू आईपीएफ, तो डिविडेंड शैल आल्सो बी ट्रांसफर टू दोज अकाउंट। सर हाउ मेनी लिखा है सर, रिगार्डिंग पेनल्टीज ऑफ 500 ऑफ 100 पर डे फॉर हाउ मेनी डेज, अंटिल डिफॉल्ट कंटिन्यूज। जब डिफॉल्ट कंटिन्यू रहेगा तब तक ये पेनल्टी कंटिन्यू रहेगी। पढ़िए इसको बच्चों फटाफट से। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। इंटरेस्ट एक्रूड ऑन द अमाउंट ट्रांसफर रेफर टू इन क्लॉज H2J, क्लॉज H2J, HIJ में जो भी अमाउंट आया उस पर जो इंटरेस्ट हुआ वो भी इधर आएगा। सेल प्रोसीड ऑफ फ्रैक्शनल ऑफ शेयर्स arising out of the issuance of bonus shares, merger and amalgamation for 7 years, फ्रैक्शन शेयर पड़े हुए हैं ड्यू टू बोनस शेयर 7 साल तक, वो भी इधर ट्रांसफर हो जाएंगे। रिडम्पशन अमाउंट ऑफ प्रेफरेंस शेयर रिमेनिंग अनपेड, प्रेफरेंस शेयर रिडीम हो गए बट अनपेड अनक्लेम्ड फॉर 7 years, they will also be covered, they also be transferred here. Other amounts as prescribed in Rule 3 of Investor and Education Protection Fund, Rules 2016, जो भी रूल 3 में और लिखा होगा, कोई भी प्रेस्क्राइब किया गया है, वो अमाउंट भी आईपीएफ में आ जाए। नाउ इंपॉर्टेंट इज यूज ऑफ दीज फंड्स, सेक्शन 125 सबसेक्शन 3, these funds shall be utilized for refund of unclaimed dividend, mature deposits, mature debentures and the application money due for refund and interest thereof। बहुत सिंपल सी बात। पहले जो पैसा अनक्लेम्ड था उसका कोई दावेदार आ गया, सही है, उसको वापस किया जाएगा। सेम थिंग फॉर द, इट मींस द राइट पर्सन हैज क्लेम्ड द अनक्लेम्ड डिविडेंड अमाउंट, मैच्योर डिपॉजिट अमाउंट, मैच्योर डिबेंचर्स अमाउंट और एप्लीकेशन मनी, तो दैट विल गिवन टू दैट पर्सन। प्रमोशन ऑफ इन्वेस्टर एजुकेशन अवेयरनेस एंड प्रोटेक्शन प्रोग्राम्स, इन इन्वेस्टर की एजुकेशन अवेयरनेस और प्रोटेक्शन के लिए जो प्रोग्राम किए जाएंगे उनको प्रमोट करने के लिए इस फंड को यूज कर सकते हैं। डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ एनी डिसगॉर्ज अमाउंट among eligible and identifiable applicants for the shares or debentures, shareholders, debenture holders or depositors who have suffered loss due to wrong action of any person in accordance with the orders made by the court which had ordered disgorgement। डिसगॉर्जमेंट का पढ़िए क्या मतलब है। डिसगॉर्जमेंट अमाउंट रेफर्स टू द अमाउंट रिसीव्ड थ्रू डिस्पोजल ऑफ सिक्योरिटीज। क्या है इसमें, दोबारा पढ़िए। डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ एनी डिसगॉर्ज अमाउंट एलिजिबल and identifiable applicant for shares of debentures, shareholders, debenture holders or depositors who have suffered losses due to wrong actions by any person in accordance with the order made by the court। कोर्ट ने कोई ऑर्डर किया कि भाई ये अमाउंट जो डिस्पोजल था, जो हमने कोई सिक्योरिटी उसने डिस्पोजल सिक्योरिटी डिस्पोज की, उसका अब दावेदार मिल गया हमें, तो उसका जो दावेदार उसको पेमेंट कर दिया जाए। Reimbursement of legal expenses incurred in pursuing class action suits under section 37 to 45 of by members, debenture holders, depositors may be sanctioned by the tribunal। Simple point। Any other purpose incidental thereto, it means incidental to point number 1, 2, 3, 4। एक बार पढ़ लीजिए बच्चों। ये क्वेश्चन 5 मार्क्स में आ सकता है आपको लिखने के लिए, तो प्लीज इसको लर्न कर लीजिएगा। Pooja is asking, sir, if shares has been transferred to IPF, if these shares are partly paid up, then unpaid amount will be paid to the company. Suppose shares only are the face value of share is rupees 10 and 6 rupees has been paid up, so that amount will be transferred. ठीक है, और वो शेयर्स उसी अमाउंट पर ट्रांसफर किए जाएंगे 6 रुपीज पे। Sir, if these chapter provisions are applicable for both companies, private and public, I think so, definitely yes, क्योंकि इसमें कहीं भी ऐसा मेंशन नहीं कि पब्लिक कंपनी के लिए प्राइवेट कंपनी के लिए है। Any claim, section 125 section 4, any person claiming to be entitled to the amount referred before may apply to IEPF authority for the payment of money claim। अगर किसी को लगता है कि भाई मैं इसमें मेरा पैसा है, ये पैसा मुझे चाहिए, तो वो क्लेम कर सकता है, IEPF अथॉरिटी को क्लेम सबमिट कर सकता है। नाउ द IEPF अथॉरिटी किसने ये फंड डेवलप किया? कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट हैज एस्टेब्लिश्ड IEPF authority on 7 September 2016 for administration of IEPF, Investor Education Protection Fund. IPF authority shall consist of one chairperson and other members, not exceeding 7, and a chief executive officer as central government may appoint. यानी कितने लोग होंगे? वन चेयरपर्सन एंड मैक्सिमम 7 अदर मेंबर्स एंड वन चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर इफ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट। The central government may provide to the authority such officers, employees, other resources in accordance with the rules. रूल्स क्रिएट किए जाएंगे, उसके बाद वो डिसाइड करेंगे इसमें कितने अदर ऑफिस क्रिएट करने हैं। IPF authority shall be competent to spend money out of the fund for carrying out the object which are given in section 125 section 3, जो भी हमने पढ़े, और वो ऑब्जेक्ट के लिए पैसा खर्च कर सकती है। IPF authority shall administer the fund and maintain the separate accounts and other relevant records in relation to the funds in such form as may be prescribed after consultation with C&AGs, Comptroller and Auditor General. And these accounts will be audited by C&AG. These accounts of the fund shall be audited by C&AG at such intervals as may be specified by. Such audited account together with the audit report thereon shall be forwarded annually by the EPF authority to central. यानी कि एक copy of the this audited account should be submitted to the central government. For each financial year, IPF authority shall prepare its annual report, and which is giving full account of activities during financial year and forward a copy thereof to the central. In this annual report, IPF authority shall mention where it has used the funds. क्या क्या इन्होंने काम किए, इस पैसे को कहाँ यूज किया, और इसकी कॉपी कहाँ जाएगी? सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट। And central government shall cause the annual report and the audit report given by C&AG to be laid before the each house of parliament. यानी कि these annual reports and the audit report should be presented in the both houses of parliament. Now, effect of share transfer pending registration. शेयर ट्रांसफर कर दिए, बट अभी रजिस्टर शेयर होल्डर का नाम रजिस्टर नहीं हुआ है। Suppose A has transferred his share to B and sent the document to company for registration in the books of members, but before they have got registered in the books of members, dividend has been declared. A ने B को शेयर ट्रांसफर करे, B का नाम तब बुक्स में आता, उससे पहले ही डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर हो गया, तब डिविडेंड किसे मिलेगा? Who will get the dividend? Instrument of transfer deed. Instrument of transfer of share delivered by the shareholder for the registration and transfer of such shares has not been registered by the instrument of transfer of share delivered by shareholder for the registration and transfer of such shares has not been registered by ट्रांसफर डीड सबमिट हो गई लेकिन शेयर अभी रजिस्टर्ड नहीं हुए then dividend shall be transferred to unpaid dividend account unless it is authorized by the registered holder of such share in writing to pay such dividend to the trust. It means in case present registered holders give in writing that this dividend should be transferred to transferee, then dividend will be transferred to that transferee. If it is not given, then until the registration of transferee, the dividend will be transferred to unpaid dividend account. ए ने बी को शेयर दे दिए, रजिस्टर्ड नहीं हुए अभी, उससे पहले डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर हो गया, तो कंपनी के पास दो ऑप्शन है, या तो अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट ट्रांसफर कर देगी, लेकिन अगर ए ने ये कह दिया कंपनी को रिटर्न में कि भाई ये पैसा बी को दे दिया जाए, मुझे कोई दिक्कत नहीं, तब उस केस में कंपनी बी को ये पैसा ट्रांसफर कर सकती। इश्यू ऑफ फुली पेड बोनस शेयर्स एंड ऑफर ऑफ राइट शैल बी केप्ट इन, मतलब होल्ड पर रखा जाएगा, कौन जब रजिस्टर्ड हो जाएगा उसके बाद उसको ट्रांसफर, ठीक है। नाउ पनिशमेंट फॉर फेलियर टू डिस्ट्रीब्यूट डिविडेंड सेक्शन 127, अगर डिविडेंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूट नहीं किया, फेल हो गए, तो क्या पेनल्टी? डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर्ड बट नॉट पेड विद इन 30 days or dividend warrant not posted within 30 days, then every director who is knowingly the party in default, imprisonment up to 2 years with fine of rupees 1000 every day until the such default continues, and for company interest at the rate of 18% per annum for the period of default. This point is important. No offense shall be deemed to have been committed if non-payment of dividend is due to. So मार्क कर लीजिए, ये important हो सकता है आपके एग्जाम के लिए। मार्क कर लीजिए बच्चों। By operation dividend is not declared due to operation of any law, यानी कि किसी लॉ को कमिट करने की वजह से डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर नहीं, डिविडेंड हमने डिक्लेयर नहीं किया, डिविडेंड हमने पे नहीं किया। फॉर एग्जांपल सेम थिंग इज right, who will be the holder, who will be the rightful holder. Where shareholder is given direction to the company regarding the payment of dividend and those direction cannot be complied with the same and the same has been to him. शेयरहोल्डर ने कहा भाई ये काम करने हैं आपको और वो हम नहीं कर पाए कि साहब इसमें अकाउंट ट्रांसफर करना है, वो अकाउंट नहीं खुल पाया, तो हमने उसको बोल दिया भाई ये अकाउंट अभी आपका नहीं खुला है, तो इसमें ट्रांसफर नहीं। डिस्प्यूट एग्जिस्ट रिगार्डिंग द राइट टू रिसीव द डिविडेंड, company is not clear who will be the rightful holder. Suppose the holder has been died and who is the legal heir, company could not find. Lawfully adjusted by the company against any sum due to it from the shareholders, कोई shareholder से पैसा लेना था उसमें adjust कर दिया dividend को, for any other reason which was not the default of, तो कोई और रीजन इस पर कंपनी डिफॉल्ट नहीं है तो कंपनी उस केस में लायबिल नहीं हो। See the example number 7. Mr. Alok holding equity shares of face value rupees 10 lakh has not paid 80,000 towards the call money due on shares. Can the dividend amount payable to him be adjusted against such dues? Give reason for your answer. The answer is yes. as per the clause D of the proviso to section 127, where the dividend is declared by a company and there remains calls in arrear for or any other sum due from a member, then the dividend can be lawfully adjusted by company against any such dues. Thus, the action of the company adjusting dividend payable to Mr. Alok towards the call money due on shares amounting rupees 80,000 is justified and therefore no punishment is. In case of Nidhi company, if dividend payable to the member is rupees 100 or less, 100 से भी कम है, 100 या उससे कम है, it shall be sufficient to announce the same in the local language newspaper and display on the notice board for 3 months at least. अगर कंपनी निधि कंपनी में डिविडेंड शेयर होल्डर मेंबर के लिए एक मेंबर का 100 से भी कम आ रहा है, 100 या उससे कम आ रहा है, तो कंपनी को केवल अनाउंस करना है लोकल न्यूज़पेपर में कि डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर कर रहे हैं और उसको अपने नोट कंपनी के नोटिस बोर्ड पर 3 महीने चिपका के रखना कि भैया हमने डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर कर दिया है, सबको इन्फॉर्म नहीं करना है. ठीक है. नाउ द टाइम फॉर सुपर ओवर 3. 1 मिनट, क्या क्वेरी है? Sir, till what time one can claim? Is there a limit of period for claim the fund from IEPF? Answer is no. कोई लिमिट नहीं है, जब आएगा क्लेम कर सकता है. Why will unpaid share will be transferred to IEPF when the company can forfeit the share and claim the money? No, the rules are rules. जो शेयर होल्डर का नहीं मालूम पड़ रहा है तो उसके शेयर विदाउट आप किसी के शेयर फॉरफिट कब करेंगे? जब उसने कोई डिफॉल्ट किया होता है. ठीक है ना, या कोई डिफॉल्ट से मिल ही नहीं रहा आदमी को, उसके शेयर गवर्नमेंट लेता है. Sir, if share transfer to IPF, the share capital will reduce. अगर शेयर कैपिटल आईपीएफ ट्रांसफर होगा तो शेयर कैपिटल रिड्यूस होगी? आई डोंट थिंक सो. शेयर कैपिटल रिड्यूस नहीं, शेयर तो वही रहेंगे क्योंकि एनी टाइम वो पर्सन क्लेम कर सकता है. सर, इन बुक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ द अथॉरिटीज गिवन 13/1/2016. देखिए, इन बुक व्हाट इज मेंशन, द नोटिफिकेशन डेटेड 13/1/2016. ठीक है. और आई हैव मेंशन दैट CG has established IPF authority on 7/9/2016. Established कब हुई अथॉरिटी? 7/9/2016 को. नोटिफिकेशन कब आया था? 13/1/2016. तो डेट में कोई फर्क नहीं है बेटा. How to claim dividend is there any form in case amount is transferred to unpaid dividend account? Definitely there should be a proper form, proper format in the rules. ठीक है. So let's start the super over 3. Today's last topic, super over 3. Ready for it? Question number 1. Dividend declare should be paid or claimed within 10 days, 30 days, 1 month, 3 months. Next question. Dividend declared but not paid or claimed within 30 days from the date of declaration should be transferred to a special account called the unpaid dividend account. Open in scheduled bank within 3 days, 7 days, 10 days or 15 days. In case of default in transferring the total amount or any part thereof to the unpaid dividend account, the company shall pay interest at the rate of 6%, 10%, 12%, 15%. any money transferred to unpaid dividend account which remains unpaid or unclaimed for space years from the date of such transfer shall be transferred by the company along with the interest accrued thereon to IEPF 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. IEPF authority has established by the central government in the year 2015, 16, 17, 18. Dividend declared but not paid within 30 days, then for every director who is knowingly a party to the default shall be liable for imprisonment up to 2 years and fine of minimum for every day during which such default continues. 2 years and 500, 5 years 1,000, 2 years 1,000, 5 years 1,000. This is the last question. So let's start. Thirty days. Seven days. 12%. 7 years. 2016. And this is 2 years and 1,000 per day. So who has given all the correct answers? First one who has given all the correct answer is lucky one is Mr. Harsh Singh. Congratulations, beta. Next one is Miss Vaishali Bindal. Congratulations, beta. Then Mr. Prince. Congratulations. Then Mr. Sundaran. Congratulations. And then Mr. Srinivasan. So at this place, dividend is completed. Now I have enclosed the summary for this chapter. आप उसको पढ़ सकते हैं बच्चे. नेहा आपका एक आंसर गलत है बेटा. नेहा कहीं सर मेरे आंसर लेट आ रहे हैं. नेहा आपका एक आंसर गलत है बेटा. देखो मैं आपको बताता हूँ आपका आंसर. आपके आंसर गलत है बेटा. एक थर्ड वन इज रॉन्ग आंसर. थर्ड इज ऑप्शन इज सी. यू हैव गिवन ऑप्शन बी, राइट? So I have enclosed the summary for this chapter, or hopefully you could understand the provisions of dividend. Thank you so much. Thank you so much everyone for patience hearing. And hopefully you enjoyed the lecture. बुरियत नहीं आई होगी. And we will meet in on 12th. मेरा लेक्चर 12th को है आपके साथ ऑन एलएलपी। ठीक है, थैंक यू सो मच, थैंक यू एवरी